Hey guys, welcome to the Up Plus channel. This is Slater here, and you're watching some gameplay footage that I recorded earlier from Wolfenstein Youngblood. And I wanted to kind of make this video to give a little bit of like an off of the cuff opinion video, just on what I think so far about the game. I guess you can consider this video like my early opinions of Wolfenstein Youngblood. But first, let's get into what the game is. So Wolfenstein Youngblood is produced by Bethesda Softworks. So not the Bethesda Games studios you might think of when you think of Fallout 4 or Skyrim. But it is developed by Machine Games and Arcane Studios, which Arcane Studios is a group that made the Dishonored games. And Dishonored, the very first game, is one of my favorite video games of all time. And so this game gets a lot of kudos for me in that regard. But Wolfenstein Youngblood is a follow-up to Wolfenstein 2, The New Order. Basically, you're playing what happens after that game. You are playing as Soph and Jess, who are the daughters of BJ Blazkowicz, who is the protagonist for the other games in the Wolfenstein series. And you are tasked to find him because he has gone missing. So far, that's all I know about the story. That's all you get in the first 2 or 3 hours. So none of that is spoilers. You see that in the trailers anyway. So that's what the game is about. Now, first I wanted to give you a quick little disclaimer. I am totally new to the Wolfenstein franchise. This is my first time playing it. And as a matter of fact, me and my friend who are playing this game now, his name is King Muffin Song. We, both of us, had never played Wolfenstein games. And so going into this co-op only game, it's been fun. It's been an interesting experiment for us. So let's get right into the gameplay. So first of all, you'll notice that this is not like other Wolfenstein games in the series. It's a co-op game. And that comes with a lot of the ups and downs of what co-op games have, at least so far from what I can tell. Like I said, well, maybe not. I may not have said, but I'm about 2 or 3 hours into the game, and I'm good. Yeah, so far you'll see some mechanics in this footage that is, traditional co-op type mechanics, and it's not bad. I don't mind it. It's okay. But overall, the gameplay, and I'm going to go ahead and just say the gunplay, which I think, it really is the gameplay in this game. It's really smooth. It's really solid. Now, I don't play a lot of first-person shooters. I used to be really big into Call of Duty. I play some Warframe from then and again, but that's not really first-person. That's third-person. But it feels really good and really satisfying to shoot your gun and to shoot down the enemies. And not even just the gunplay, but also the movement in the game feels great. Think of something like Titanfall. Really like Titanfall. You have your double jumps, you have your climbing abilities, you have slides you can do. I don't know if you can wall jump yet. That's not an ability I've seen yet, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised. It feels really mobile. You feel really good when you're moving around. Another thing I've really liked so far about the game is just the right amount of challenge. Now, my friend and I are playing on normal difficulty. That's usually what we do. We usually start on normal difficulty and we'll move it up and down depending on, usually not down, but up if we feel like it's too easy or whatever. But so far it's been just the right amount of challenge and just the right amount of equipping you with what you need to be able to succeed and conquer those challenges. There's some really tough enemies and tough bosses, especially in the first level. I did not expect to see that. I'm used to first level, just breeze through it, get whatever weapon you want, shotgun everybody down. But you don't really do that in this game. You have to really think about what you're doing. In some of the clips and some of the footage you might see, in the bottom right hand of the corner, you'll see like a little square that has like either a shotgun shell or a bullet casing type image. And then under that are some like lines or boxes. That is your ammo type. Now, what's interesting about that is that if you use, depending on what type of ammo type you use, enemies armor will be weak to that. So you have to really think about it, because if you don't use the right ammo type, you're not doing a lot of damage. So it really causes you to shuffle through your guns on a very consistent basis, and to consider upgrading all of your different guns. Which, speaking on the upgrade system, I can't really say a whole lot about yet, because in 2 to 3 hours of gameplay, you don't really get into it a whole lot. You can get a taste of it, but it gives you more so just a kind of taste of what the progression is going to be like. And so far, I feel like it's pretty fairly balanced, and I like that a lot. So another thing I really like about this game is the characters. I actually didn't expect to really get into this in the way I did. But the characters of Soph and Jess are really interesting. I'm really interested to see how their story progresses. And not even them, more so the characters surround them. In the first cutscene, in the first mission you do, you meet this character called Blackbird, and she just seems really interesting, and all these other characters around her are really intriguing, and I wanting to know more about them. That's something I really like about this, and something that I've heard about the Wolfenstein franchise in general is that one of the big draws of the games is the world and the characters, and so far I can see that being very true in this game too. So if you're into that kind of stuff, if you like the previous games, you'll probably like this too. The co-op is very engaging. One of the reasons I like the co-op a lot in this game, there are your traditional, co-op gimmicks and whatnot, but the co-op is largely based on meeting each other through the challenges of the gameplay, and I really like that. It's hard to describe that, and just describe it. It's one of those things when you're playing, you notice, and it feels just right. It feels like without the other person, you're done. And there are not a lot of co-op games that do that right. They might have you raise a platform so the other person can get to it, think Portal and stuff like that, though that is a different style of game entirely. But that's the thing I really like about this that stands out to me, is that your co-op abilities is tested by the challenge, not by any gimmicks in the stage, which is cool. One thing also I didn't really expect to like is the music. The music is really interesting. Now, a lot of this footage, you're probably not hearing a lot of music. I've got the volume turned down quite a bit. But there are certain parts of the game that have this very electronic swells and this grungy 80s type vibe, which it makes sense because I think the game takes place in an alternate 1980s. But it really goes well with what you're doing. Everything you do feels really impactful and that music helps. And it just makes you feel really cool and really powerful. So far, the story is interesting. I like what's going on. And overall, the game is just plain fun. It's just a blast to play, especially with a friend of yours. And that's something I'd recommend. I tried playing this game solo. I wouldn't recommend doing that. It's not fun as much because the AI who plays the other sister isn't usually all that wonderful. Sometimes they have their moments of brilliance, but most of the time it's kind of meh. So I would definitely recommend playing with a friend if you can. So let's go ahead and get into some things that I don't necessarily like. These are more complaints more than anything really so far from what I feel. So first thing I noticed about the game is that the mechanics I mentioned to you earlier is the ammo type and the armor type, right? Well, in the beginning of the game, they don't really make that super obvious. You kind of have to figure that out. Now, there are these tutorials scattered around in the form of these laptop things you can pick up. But when you're playing with a friend, man, you're not reading these tutorials. You're just running around, shooting things, having fun. You don't always notice these. So the first time we played through this game, all we did was just shoot things more because that's what we thought you had to do, and it felt very bullet spongy. Once we figured out that mechanic with the ammo types, it became way more apparent. But that wasn't exactly told very well in the beginning of the game, so that's something that I think is a little bit of a criticism. Some of the dialogue in the game is kind of funky. Some of the dialogue delivery is a little weird. It seems like they're over characterizing some things, but overall, it's just every once in a while. Most of it is actually really good. Some of the upcoming story beats that seem to be coming up seem to be a little predictable. I'm not going to get into any kind of spoilers or anything, but comes to some of the cutscenes, me and my friend both playing, were just said the same thing that we kind of feel like we know what's going to happen. And, we could be wrong. We could be completely proven wrong, and that would be cool. And there are some bugs. I'll show a quick little clip of a bug that we noticed that we ran into. And it actually was a game-breaking bug. We had to restart the game to fix this bug. So it isn't a small deal, but I feel like this is probably sort of rare. We played the beginning section many times, and we only ran into anything like this once, any bugs at all, as a matter of fact, once. So this, I think, is kind of a rare case. But overall, I like what I've played so far. Both my friend and I like so far the game. We are going to continue to play it, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to have the first part of our Let's Play up tomorrow sometime. So look forward to that. We're excited to show that to you guys. But I just want to kind of get this out to you and let you know what I think, and let you know, if you decide to get into it, what to expect. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like stuff like this and like to see more of me rambling and saying and all that a lot, I realize that I usually edit these more, but I wanted to kind of just do something just completely raw. But if you like this kind of stuff, leave me a like. It would really help me, and let me know in the comments. And consider subscribing. If you'd like, check out King Muffin Song's channel. Look forward to the Let's Play for Wolfenstein Youngblood as we continue the story. As we start the story. We haven't actually started the story yet, yeah. I think you'll like it. But anyway, join me if you like. Or, get the game and play if you like. Or just watch or do both. Now I am super ranting. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And, yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, this is where we got to be prepared.
Yeah, so which way do you want to go?
We're gonna go straight. So, do you get the information thing? So that
Yeah.
that explains.